Hi, welcome to another episode of the Be Civil podcast. My name is Matt Southerland. I'm your host. And today I'd like to talk a little about just remembering your roots, remembering where you come from. I had a memory that came to mind the other day, and it's not the brightest memory in the memory bank. It was a memory of my childhood, and um, I was about 5 years old, and I just remember knocking on the door this is when I lived in Brooklyn, and there was knocking on the door, and then the door opened, my mom opened the door, and there was just a lot of yelling and screaming, and it was police officers, and they ended up coming into my room and taking my sister and I. And long story short, my my father was abusive, and to my mother and the whole family, and the Child Protective Services were called on him by my oldest brother, and so basically we were taken out of the house, out of the apartment, and we were taken to foster care for several months. Um, and um, I remember, you know, when we were in foster care, the place that my sister and I were staying at was very, uh, I guess, run down. Um, Thinking back now, I'm pretty surprised that this was a foster home, because it wasn't the best. It was definitely not nearly as good as the conditions were in my apartment growing up, and we didn't have, we were pretty poor as well, but this was a pretty rundown place, and a bad neighborhood, and yeah. So I remember my sister and I in the tub. We had to be about, say, four. I was probably like 4 or 5 years old, I remember, and we were in the tub together, and I remember roaches crawling out of the wall. Um, I started picking at the wall, and the wall, parts of the wall fell out, and roaches started crawling out. A bunch of roaches, and man, this memory came to mind the other day, and I was just like, wow, like, you know, this is this is where I come from. I come from, a dark place where there was despair, and there was uh, roaches, and there were um, you know just really dark times. The abuse of my father, and you know years later, after growing up, my brother ended up dying. Um, my brother that called protective services on my father, he ended up dying when I was about 20 years old. And, you know, thinking now of these dark times that I went through, it's just, I feel very fortunate to be alive. I could easily, um, I could easily have been the one that died, um, like my brother. Um, I could have died of drugs. I could have died of, um, just being uh, in the wrong place at the wrong time many times. I could have died of, um, so many things. There are situations in which I put myself into, um, growing up, and just looking back, I'm like, man, this those were not me. Looking at myself now and looking back then, if I were myself now looking at myself then, I'm like, man, you know, this kid, he needs to get out of there. He needs to, stay clear of this situation. And man, I'm just so fortunate to be here, and I'm so thankful that, um, you know, I get to see another day. I'm so thankful that I get to be surrounded by love. Um, I'm so grateful that I survived, um, a difficult childhood, uh, a turmoil filled childhood. Um, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I have my own family now, and I've broken the cycle. I've broken the cycle of abuse. I've broken the cycle of poverty. I've broken the cycle of, um, you know, of just living in distress and living in a hostile environment. I get to have a loving environment with my own family, and that is so much to be grateful for. Um, to look at my wife and daughter, and just experience a beautiful life with them. That's It's not the life that I had growing up. I had um, a very scary childhood. Um, Thinking back, I had, um, so much that I could have, I could have just ended up so much worse than, things that happened in my life. Um, I could have not made it, and I'm happy that I'm here. I'm very grateful for the things that I got through, and I have people in my life that I'm thankful for helping me get through that time in my life, uh, or those difficult times in my life growing up. One of them is my mom. I'm so grateful for my mom. I'm grateful that she, um, had the strength inside to, break away from the abuse after a while, and to leave my dad, and to, start a new life with us, um, and to provide the way that she did, and to look out for us the way that she did. So grateful for her. Um, Grateful for, friends over the years that I've had, um, that, at the very least, were people that I could just count on, um, to help just dig me out of depression, help to, um, keep me in a happy place when I needed it. So, grateful for friends. I'm grateful for, my brothers and sisters who, um, I was and still am able to lean on when I need them, or when I've needed them in the past. Um, and I'm so grateful for my wife that, I was able to talk to her the other day about this memory. Um, it's heavy stuff, and it's it's, for me, I feel like it is easier to talk about, but I know these types of things are not easy to talk about in the beginning. So, it's I'm happy that I have her to listen to me and to hear my story. Um, we should all be grateful. I'm sorry. We should all be um, willing to share our story. Um, I honestly was a little scared to talk about this today. It comes from a very vulnerable place, but because I do realize that other people um, are out there that are just like me. You either survived some hardship, or you're trying to get through it right now. And if you're trying to get through it right now, I just want to let you know that it's going to get better. Um, just stay positive, get in a positive place. Um, think about the future that you want and focus on that. Focus on that silver lining. Um, I told my wife the other day that, I went through those times, um, and, as dark as they were and as hard as they were, um, I was able to break that cycle, and now my daughter doesn't have to go through it. So, man, just thinking about it gives me chills, because it's just such an amazing thing to be able to break these generational curses. Um, things that we went through as children, and that comes with being a survivor. It comes with being someone that overcomes the odds that were against us. And if that's you right now, um, I'm here to tell you that it does get better, and that you can break that generational curse. You can come out on top in the end. And I'm happy that I had people in my life to show me that. And it brought me to a place of humility as well. Um, you know, I I'm just very grateful for the opportunities that I have now. I would have never been able to get to these opportunities if it weren't for the people in my life that helped me turn out to be who I am now. So, very grateful for all those people. And I just want to end it with saying again, if you're one of those people out there that are in a dark place, just know that there's a silver lining. There's a silver lining to every dark cloud. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. And focus on the future. And know that in this present time, what is happening is going to pass. This too shall pass. Always remember, this too shall pass. And you're going to make it through. All right, well, that concludes this episode of the Be Civil podcast. I want to ask every one of you watching to please comment, like, and subscribe. And remember to always be civil. Thank you.